For instance, I'll give you an example. Last week, I'll give you an example how crooked they are. Last night, I'll go to last night. Last night, we won every single poll. Who won the debate? Now, I think Cruz did well. I do. I think Rubio did well, although I think Rubio had a lot of hard questions because, frankly, those are tough questions. You know? Gave good answers, but I don't like the questions, so they're a little tough. But does everybody understand that? Yeah, I think you understand that. They're tough. But I did think he did well in terms of answering. I think that a couple of others, I really appreciated Mike Huckabee for, sticking up for me. He's a good man. I mean, he's a good man. He's a good person. He even showed my tie. He was really great. He's a great guy. But no, it was nice because somebody else could have said, what? I'll be the best president. He didn't say that. He said, don't you dare say that about Donald Trump. He'd be a great president. I mean, honestly, folks, there aren't a lot of people that would do that. He had a perfect opportunity just to talk about himself, and he didn't do that. So he's a special guy. He's a very good guy. So we're going to do something that's going to be so unique. But last night, all of the polls, every single one of them said I won. And yet, the pundits, they weren't bad, but they could have been much better, believe me. They could have been. Some were good. But every poll, even the CNBC poll, every poll said, and these are polls, somebody said, oh, they're online. Well, I'm not dialing in. Hundreds of thousands. Drudge is great, and Drudge is a legit person. He's a great person. And he's a straight shooter. They have the Drudge poll. They have, what the hell was that? Sounded like a duck behind. But no, they had Drudge, and they have Time Inc. I mean, Time Inc. is, even though I was on the cover 4 weeks ago, so maybe it's a conflict of interest. I don't know. But they had Time, they had many, many polls, and they had CNBC did their poll, all right? And you could see that they don't like me very much, okay? And we won every one of them. And the pundits some were really nice, and some were trying to be as bad as they could possibly be. As they also know the subject matter. They can't say you lost, but they said, well, Trump was a little off his game. I was? It's so unfair. Especially when you get 60, 70%. When you get 70% in an online poll, and you have 15 people up there, right? You have 15 because you have the previous debate. But you have 15 people up there, and you get 70%, that's impossible. If you got 70% and you had 2 people, it's like, we'll take that all the time, right, folks? So but I'll tell you one of the most disgusting things. You have a group called Politico. It's a small deal. So dishonest. They are the worst people. They are the most dishonest. No, they're just dishonest. And you have others. You have Huffington Post that puts us in the entertainment section, and now they don't know what to do. Yeah, but I sort of like Bill Maher, I must be honest. I do. I like him. Do you like Bill Maher? I don't agree with him, but you can like him. Do you like Bill Maher? Huh? I don't think he likes me too much, I will say that. No, but you have all of these different groups, and the most amazing thing is it comes out, and no matter how it comes out with hatred. You see the level of hatred on the other side. And I think, I've made a lot of speeches like this. I always have rooms like this packed. They're packed. And you people didn't have much time, right? You didn't have much time. But last week in Iowa, so I had a negative poll in Iowa. And it was the first time, no way. It can happen. Because for 100 days, there were even 100 days, I led every single poll. And I was surprised at Iowa because I have amazing relationship with the evangelicals, with the Tea Party, with all the people. And for some reason, I had a couple of negative polls come out in Iowa. And I was surprised, actually. And then we had a poll come out, a really good one. The ABC Washington Post came out on Friday. And it was a very, very expensive good poll. And practically nobody reported. I was killing everybody, right? And then they had another couple come out. They had the Gravis poll come out. I think I was 38 or I like killing everybody. They had all these, and nobody mentions it. And then it happened. I had a CBS poll. I think they talked like to 300-400 people. And I was a little below Carson. It was the biggest story I've ever seen. It's true. It happened. It was bigger than anything. It was bigger than Benghazi with Hillary. It was the biggest, it happened. They were so happy. They have gone crazy between Iowa and it. So I'm in Iowa. I had just gotten this negative poll. I have a group as big as this, at least. And it's a love fest. It's a total love fest. Now, I'm a negotiator, right? So that's what I do. The last thing I am is a beggar, okay? So I go to Iowa, and we are having fun. It was the best speech I've made. And in fact, the Des Moines Register that hates me gave my speech a great review. It said, unbelievable. Honestly, the Des Moines Register hates me. It's a liberal paper in Iowa. I'm going to start to like it, I think. I couldn't believe this. The story was good. And I had some other good stories. But then I had these dopes from Politico. They're dopes. They're third-rate people. It's losing a lot of money, I hear. It's probably going to be out of business soon. But, they do this stuff. And they don't care. The truth means nothing. And then I had a couple of others. And even one of the networks that I was very disappointed in. So I do this speech, and here's what it is. Thousands of people. I had just gotten a little negative word. And I go to the people, I say, come on, folks, let's get with it. When was the last time you won a primary? You haven't done it. We got to do it. We're going to do it. Let's get with it, folks, or I'm never coming back to you. In other words, we're having fun. I'm being sarcastic. I'm being funny. Everybody was laughing. They're high-fiving. The whole room. Come on, baby. You can support Trump. Let's go. Okay, so here's what happens. No, I don't need it. By the way, no. I don't need it. Watch. One of these scum back there. That's what they are. Watch. No, watch. You have no idea. Folks, you have no idea how bad they are. You have no idea. You have no idea how dishonest some of the reporters are. That work for, that work for CNN, that work, frankly, for NBC. You have no idea how dishonest some of these people are. Like I saw one the other day. We had a packed house. It's always packed. We had a packed house, and the report's being done as everybody is leaving. And they look, the room's empty. In other words, when we're finished, you guys are going to leave. I don't want to have a reporter doing a report with the empty room, okay? I don't want it. So anyway, I'm having fun in Iowa, and I think I'm going to win Iowa, but who knows? Look, who knows, right? Maybe you don't win it, who knows? But I love the people in Iowa, and I relate to the people, and they relate to me. And I have by far the biggest crowds. So I'm talking about it. We're having fun. We're laughing. And I'm screaming, you got to get with it. You got to get to Trump. Okay. All, laughter, sarcasm. And here's the headline. Trump begs Iowa for their vote. No, and it's just not me. And I even saw Newt Gingrich. I love Newt. He's a good guy. But I watched him he was on a Fox show today. He said Trump did great in the debate. Trump's great. Trump's really smart. He actually said he's the smartest guy since Clinton. I said, you couldn't do better than that? He couldn't have it. He actually did. He said, great thing. But he said one thing because he reads the paper. He said, the only thing I disagreed with was when he went to Iowa and begged. Can you imagine going to a room and begging? Can you imagine? Now, it wasn't everybody, but there were 15% of the stories like that. And I think it's just so, most of them were good. I'm telling you, Des Moines Register was a great story. I couldn't believe it. I would have thought they would have done the other. So dishonest. But here's the thing. Places like Politico, they're third rate, and they don't make money, or they make very little. I hear they're going out. I hear they're just dying. They tend to die because they tend to die. And it's not only them, it's others. But the level of dishonesty with the press. So here's the thing, I make the speech, and I actually think, I said last week, it's one of the best speeches I made, because I went in, just got my only bad poll in 100 days. So I went in, come on, folks, let's go, let's get with it. I'll never come back again. If you don't vote for me, you better vote for me. We're all laughing. Trump begs. And they knew that it was a phony deal. Everybody knew. All you have to do is look at the tapes. All you have to do is read the stories, even the stories from Henry. So you have tremendous dishonesty with the press. And therefore, when I have all these big crowds and everything else, you can't really, like I said to Bill O'Reilly just now, we have a tremendous crowd. I said, nobody gets bigger crowds than me. He goes, and he's a good guy. He goes, well, that's not really fair. You're a celebrity, so you'll get big. I said, what does that have to do with celebrity? I don't think you're here because I think you're here because I have a view that we're not going to be taken advantage of anymore, right? You know, we're just not going to be taken advantage of it, and we can't take it. You can't take it. And I mean, honestly, if I was a celebrity, if I were a celebrity without a guitar, a friend of mine, one of the biggest entertainers, said, you get the biggest crowds in the world without a guitar, which is a pretty good, meaning without music. Because the music guys get a lot of people, but we get a lot of people. But Bill just said, and I was a little disappointed with that statement, because it's not about being a celebrity. I don't think it's about having a view that's captivating the people in this country because they're tired of being taken advantage of. They're tired of being stupid. They're tired of having their leaders be out-negotiated on every single deal. They're tired of it. They're tired of having China rip us off on every trade deal, and Japan and Mexico and everybody else. They're tired of it. And I think if I were a celebrity, and if I walked and we're talking about, isn't it a wonderful day? Isn't the weather nice? Beautiful out, isn't it? And you know, do you ever hear like, and I'll tell you, look, I deal with everybody all over the world. Chinese are very tough negotiators. The Iranians, the Persians, very tough negotiators. Oh, did you hear the new one? So they say it was our president that requested, because Iran decided now that they're going to get involved with Syria, right? You believe this? And why not? They got our money. And they don't have to develop nuclear. They can buy it. They have so much. What do they have to develop it for? Cheaper to buy it. So, according to what I heard, which is probably true, we got out-negotiated in the Iran deal, and President Obama requested that the chief negotiator for the Iran deal, who's a killer, I watched him on Charlie Rose being interviewed. After watching for 5 minutes, I said, Kerry cannot handle this guy. Can't handle him. The chief negotiator, our president, just asked that he get involved in talks having to do with us and Syria. This is, so we're going to have more. We'll end up giving more and more. We're not going to have anything left, folks. We're not going to have anything left. I saw this. I said, can you imagine? You get fleeced by a guy who's a great negotiator. I'm not knocking Iran. If you can make a deal like that, I would have doubled up the sanctions, sat back. They would have, believe me, and I would have never given them, of the 150, I would have given them squat. They would have gotten nothing. What they're going to use, you know, they're a terrorist organization. What they're going to use that $150 billion for is, you don't even want to think about it. You don't even want to think. The 24 days, how about the self-inspections, where they actually do their own self-inspection, right? They do their own self-inspection. How about that one? Is that one of the... So we don't get anything. So now we have